Well, the Tampa Bay Rays are staying in the Tampa Bay area, evidently, for the long haul, and more specifically, across the bridge.
Take a deep breath. There's a lot of emotions happening right now, so let's get into all of it starting right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on the social medias, X and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, move over Montreal, move over Charlotte, move over Nashville, move over Portland. The Rays are staying in Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg, more specifically. And got to give credit where credit is due. Our boy, Marc Topkin, got the scoop and the score on his off day, setting the report and the news that the Rays will be announcing with their government partners and their real estate development partners of a new $1.2 million stadium proposal / plan on Tuesday morning.
The day we've all waited for a long, long time. If you've been a Rays fan for longer than a decade, you remember the first St. Pete sale. What was the moniker? Remember that one? The sale one, in the St. Pete?
Oh, yeah. Back in, 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
Back when we were in high school, more or less.
Yes.
I mean, we have been talking about new stadium for the Rays since we were together, freshmen at USF.
Yeah.
A long, long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been a lot of different stages, a lot of different steps. And finally, on September 18th, we get the news that they're going to be staying. And I think we've always been rather honest on our main view. The big picture is stay.
Yes.
Big picture.
Stay in the region.
Stay
within driving distance of hour and a half, 2 hour driving distance to and from the game.
Now, if we want to get into the logistics of attendance and what would be better for the region and all that, we can argue that all day long. But the first goal was attained by staying in the Tampa Bay region.
Correct.
I think that's a huge, huge positive. I understand that some people are more let down by today's news because they were so gung-ho about Hillsborough County. I have always been on this pod a proponent of Ybor City, of making it easier for more people to be able to watch a ball game of a quality organization rather than going all the way to Pinellas County.
I think legitimately just about anybody that isn't a St. Petersburg resident or greater St. Petersburg resident or that lives in Pinellas County would say that the best spot, the best location to draw fans and butts in the seats and interest in your ball club is the Metro Tampa Bay area, whether it's Ybor City, whether it's the Tampa Fairgrounds, whether it's West Shore, whether it's nearby Raymond James Stadium, whether it's by Amalie Arena, somewhere, someplace in and around proper Tampa, Hillsborough County would be the place to go. But again, that's as I believe it was Michael Lortz a couple years ago on this podcast. Go back and listen to that 3-4 part interview that we had with him. He eloquently and astutely pointed out that the money, particularly from the redevelopment of the Trop site, is just too good of an opportunity to pass up for Stu Sternberg and the Rays ownership group.
Yeah. I mean, it's like 50% of whatever is is up for grabs for them. I mean, that's just like free money for Stu and company. How are you going to turn that down? Ultimately, there are two things that went against Hillsborough, and that's land and money.
Yeah.
Where are you putting this stadium? Where do you have 80 something acres? And maybe you don't need 86 acres.
Yes.
Okay. But you need a lot of them. And
Right.
so where are you going to stick the stadium in Ybor? I know that we had the K-Force and then by the shipping container area. I get it.
I mean, there were myriad sites to pick and choose from. The issue is private land. And red tape associated with that.
And not only that,
just a lot of headaches and a lot of maneuvering that you have to get to that point of, okay, we're ready to put shovel and dirt, if you will.
So the first one is big land. That's the number one obstacle. Number two is the money. Where's the money going to come from? Because again, if you're an upset Rays fan right now, I want you to just play a game with us. Why don't you play a game? Play a game with us here for the next 30.
What's that from? Is that Saw movies?
Do you want to play a game? Yeah, Saw. Yeah.
Very apropos a couple weeks from now when we get to October.
Exactly. Thank you. So let's play a game for the next 30 seconds.
Okay.
Even if you're an upset Rays fan. Okay. Now you are a billionaire. You own a baseball team. Do you care about money? I think you do. One side is going to cost you more money. The other is going to give you more money. Which one do you choose if you're Stu Sternberg? Hint, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. And it sucks. It sucks for us that wanted to, have a 15-minute drive to an Ybor stadium. For some of us, wink, wink, might have been a 15-minute bike ride.
Yeah. For some of us, you could charge, $30 a head to park at your residence and make some money that way.
Exactly. So I understand that, but just get in the head of a billionaire. And if you're a billionaire, you're going to care about money. And Pinellas had the money and the land for that to be the number one sensical move for that for the organization to go. And you know what? Yeah. Again, ultimately, we can be a little bit upset, but let's not forget the big picture. They're remaining here. We can now stop hearing the why don't you move to Nashville? Why don't you move to Charlotte, Portland, whatever? We don't have to hear that anymore.
Yes.
In anti-social media. And honestly, that's a great piece of news for a Rays fan.
It is a wonderful thing. And we have more to discuss on this topic. But first, we have to tell you this. Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which ultimately leads to better outcomes like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales, and we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon, LOCKEDON. That is locked. Oh my gosh, I'm getting my LinkedIn and my lockdowns mixed up. Say that 5 times fast each way. That is linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar, like Yandy Diaz, for example. Today, just go to linkedin.com/lockedon. I'll say it one more time, LOCKEDON, and get started today. So with this whole stadium news and development coming to the forefront, is this a fair word? Bittersweet. Bittersweet if you're a Rays fan.
If you're a Hillsborough County resident, probably.
Or a Pasco County resident, or
Or a Pasco
Manatee
County
County
resident.
resident. I mean, really anywhere in the Tampa Bay area outside of Pinellas County.
You know, we've got a lot of friends of the program that are in the Orlando area or the Lakeland area.
True.
Hint, Melissa, Carlos, Austin. You know, they are probably the section of Rays fans who ultimately they're happy that their team is not moving. But the first reaction is like, damn, I still have to drive 2+ hours to go watch a ball game. Also, how the heck am I getting there on a Wednesday afternoon? I mean, you can make it as pretty as you want about, oh, it's going to be better than the Battery. What are you going to do? First of all, before this becomes like a whole, like, they weren't even happy that the team is staying. We're incredibly happy that the team is staying.
Yes, we are. We have to remember it was not that long ago where there were proposals, whether it was a grift, whether it was legitimate, illegitimate, I don't know, but they put a dang billboard in Tropicana Field promoting the prospect of playing half the team's games in Montreal.
In the playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's not
based on what's happened with the whole Oakland, Las Vegas situation, we should be thankful that this organization is remaining in the Tampa Bay area. Having said that, I never want to hear another bit or piece from this organization saying, oh, we can't draw fans, we're having attendance troubles, ipso facto, we can't afford these players in free agency, or we can't sign free agents, or hey, we're just the little engine that could. We're a small market team trying to go up against the big bag wolves of the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Astros, the Phillies, whoever it may be. Because you all, at the end of the day, chose to build a new stadium in the same location that you've been complaining about for 2 decades.
You are building the stadium where there are more dolphins in a 30-minute radius than there are human beings. Yes. By the way, for those keeping track at home, dolphins cannot go to baseball games and do not purchase tickets.
No.
They just can't get the whole opposable thumbs thing down yet. But so first of all, yes, we're content. But if we want to nitpick, and of course we want to nitpick, because it's what we should do with this platform, is you can't just tell me that you're building a battery type scenario and there's a new bridge that's going, and that's definitely going to help. It's bumper to bumper traffic. Another bridge is basically going to let us go 30 miles an hour now instead of bumper to bumper traffic. Like, you need a massive overhaul. You need ferries, multiple ones. You need high-speed rail options for this. You need multiple public transportation systems to be developed. Like,
you need the ability to drop in by drone or skydive.
It's available.
You need those capabilities as well.
It's available.
You need to Frogger your way, hopscotch across streets, levitate across streets to get to the ballpark. The new $1.2 billion ballpark, which will have approximately 30,000 seats and be a domed roof, covered roof, which I think is extremely, extremely important. If we've learned anything, being in the state of Florida and Tampa Bay area, it is ungodly hot in the summer. It is ungodly stormy and showery in the summer. In fact, people don't really even want to be outside this time of year. Like, between the months of June all the way up to October, pretty much, if you want to be outside, you want to be in the beach water or the pool water. Otherwise, you want to stay inside and go to the movies or go bowling or whatever. You don't want to look. I credit all those people that go to Raymond James Stadium to sit out and watch the USF Bulls or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play football, because it just does not seem like an enjoyable experience. And I think a lot of people agree with me on that.
One of the hottest experiences I've ever had, temperature-wise. I was 12 years old. I had just moved to the U.S. It was 2003. My dad and I get invited to go to a football game. We go to Raymond James. like 40 minutes, an hour in, my dad's like, hey, like, you want to go get something to drink? Okay, we'll be right back. And me and my dad text me to the inside by the concourse. And I was like, thank you. And he's like, oh, I bleep and did it. Like, we're staying here for a good while because.
And you're from South America. Yeah. You're not from Minnesota or Alaska or Washington.
It's insanity. So for those people that have never lived in Florida, like, oh, they're building another dome stadium. Who wants to do that? I saw a Barstool article. Unfortunately, God, they're so bad. Some dude like wrote an article saying like Florida weather is amazing in April, May, and September. Really? That just tells me that you have never been here. You have never set foot here. You've watched Baywatched. That's your Florida experience, or watching Dexter. It's unreal, man. So no, I'm happy about the dome. Again, my biggest thing is like, you're putting it in the same location. I really hope that we're going to be hearing things about increase public transportation, high-speed rails, ferry options, all of those things that can help people go from one county to another. Because if you're not doing that, the shine is going to be there, and you're going to see the rise in attendance for the first couple years. Of course you are. Yeah. But then the same thing is going to happen, Kevin.
That is fair. We have more to discuss, but Ulises, we have to tell the audience about something incredibly, incredibly important.
Yes, we do. And that's that modern medical care and treatment are important, but our global supply chains can be fragile. Things like pandemics, natural disasters, and foreign travel may cut you off from the treatment you need. Jase Medical is your solution. Just fill out their online form, and one of Jase Medical's board-certified physicians will review it to determine whether medications are safe and appropriate. Then Jase will send your prescriptions to one of their partner pharmacies, where your order will be filled and mailed directly to your home. You can also send your physician a message for answers to treatment-related questions at any time. Everyone should be empowered to care for themselves and their loved ones during the unexpected. That's why Jase Medical offers their Jase Case. Save more than $360 by getting these life-saving antibiotics with Jase Medical, plus an additional $20 off by using code LOCKEDON. That's LOCKEDON at checkout at jasemedical.com. That's JASE medical.com.
So we didn't really dive too much into this, but the projected $1.2 billion cost of the stadium, Sternberg and company plan to cover half or more of that projected price tag, while the city of St. Petersburg and the county of Pinellas will take on the rest. Pinellas plans to cover its portion entirely with tourist tax dollars. Is this a fair breakdown as best can be, considering the boondoggle that is corporate welfare of professional sports teams? And I should say, heck, I mean, you might as well get it built now, because inflation, prices are only going up and up. I'm surprised you can, build a pole barn for $1.2 billion at this point.
I mean, honestly, remember the Ybor one was $800 million.
Yeah.
And Stu said, we're willing to give $150 million for this project. Boy, if we had told him right there, buddy, you're gonna have to give $600 million for a 1.2 in 5 years, he would have been like, not 150. I'll give 400 and let's build it in Ybor right now. But
I think some of that is a negotiating ploy. You don't want to shake your hand or let all your cards out right away and say, we'll cover 50, 60, 70%. No, you say we'll cover 20, 25%, and then eventually you find a way in a standpoint to meet in the middle. Who knows? Maybe if the Rays are able to offset Wander Franco's contract, then they can use some of that money towards that end. And I know we haven't really talked about this much, and I don't have the exact figures in front of me, but I haven't heard a lot of attendance has been crappy this year. I think attendance has been pretty solid, all things considered. And I think that's a combination of a couple things. One, you have the earlier game time starts. Two, games are shorter. And three, the product objectively to the average casual sports fan is more enjoyable and more exciting and more action packed.
If you look at ESPN's MLB attendance for 2023, do you want to guess what out of 30 teams, what is the Rays rank, not only by not total attendance per year, but I'm saying average per game. Do you know what they rank right now?
Average per game, where they rank. I'm going to say they're averaging at least 20,000 fans a game, which would put them at, I don't know, 22nd out of 30.
Okay, you're feeling really happy. Okay. They are actually at 17,777, and which makes them 27th out of 30 teams.
So maybe not as good as I thought, but
yeah. Well, I mean, it's the first team that's not 20,000, so that's nice. Do you want to guess who is 28, 29, and 30?
Athletics,
yes.
Royals,
yes,
and Marlins.
Yes, very good. Kansas City 28 at 16K, Miami at 14K, and Oakland, 10.5K.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing AA baseball at this point. The other thing, too, about this new stadium, I'll be curious, of course. I'm sure at some point we'll get into the nitty-gritty with the layout and, it have an artificial turf and what it'll look like on the whole. But I am, several years from now going to miss a little bit of I don't know if it's gamesmanship, but the inherent advantage of Tropicana Field and the wacky dimensions and the catwalk and the lighting and just the overall ambiance and how that helped the Rays and was a hindrance to other teams, especially teams from the National League. And you see, the ground balls come a little bit faster to you. The balls bounce a little bit higher. You lose a ball in the lights. There's just a lot that can happen at the Trop that's, you can cue the circus theme with other teams at times.
I 100% agree with you. I hope that there are going to be little quirks, maybe not catwalks, hopefully not catwalks, but hopefully there are other little quirks that the new Rays Stadium, which we do not know its name, Publix
Park,
Give me pub subs, baby. Give me pub subs at the door.
Hey, hit it in the YouTube comments. What should the name of the stadium be?
Yes, give us the company.
Title sponsor.
Spectrum Field. There should it be Louisiana Hot Sauce Park, Publix,
Dex Imaging Field.
Yes, anything. Put it down in the comments. I love that. Good for you. Good for you, Kevin.
Who is the biggest sponsor for the Rays? Who contributes the most money to the Rays year in and year out?
I'm guessing the Tropicana naming license.
Oh, true. That's fair. Outside of them?
Seems like Dex Imaging does a lot.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I remember Jable was on a run at some point.
Valpak,
Kane's Furniture, Papa John's. There's been a lot over the years.
I have
Papa John's Park. It has a ring to it.
I have a question for you, Kev.
Yeah.
Is anybody in the 40-man roster on September 18th, 10:07 p.m. as we're recording? 40-man roster for the Rays. I'm giving you time to maybe look it up.
Yep.
Is there one person in that 40-man roster that you think will be in that new stadium when it's all said and done?
So the new stadium will be opening, we assume, late March, April 2028.
Correct. So they would have to be array for after this season, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. It would be their fifth year after this year. So if this is their first year, they would have to be with the Rays for 6 years. Is there one player that could do that?
Oh, man. Looking and scrolling real quickly up and down the 40-man, as it is right now, I would say perhaps Curtis Mead and perhaps Josh Lowe, but I'd more likely lean towards Curtis Mead, but I'm not feeling all that confident.
Those are good options. Can I give you? I would give you two more options.
Please don't say Wander Franco.
Jose Siri.
Jose Siri. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so they're giving him a Kevin Kiermaier-like extension.
I mean, I think with the power that he's shown this year, I think they're like, okay, this could play.
Okay.
And the other guy who could actually get a Brandon Lau-esque deal, Mr. 100 RBI, 30 home runs, defensive versatility, Isaac, you can't see me, Paredes.
It's a dark horse. What about pitchers? Any pitchers on the 40-man?
That's going to be a negativo, Mr. Weiss. None.
Not even Taj Bradley.
No.
Yeah. Definitely no relievers, if I had to guess.
Definitely no relievers. I want to hear you now in the comments. So Kevin had his question. I want to have my question on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you guys have to answer too. What will be the Rays new stadium that you would want it to be? And number two, is there a player in the 40-man roster right now that you see playing in 2028 in this new stadium?
And again, listen to the question. That's on the 40-man roster right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
someone's
Junior
going to mess that up.
He is not on the 40-man roster.
Thank you. Junior Caminero is not in the 40-man roster. So please.
Carson Williams is not on the 40-man roster. Xavier Isaac is not on the 40-man roster.
Yes, please, let's follow instructions. We can do this. We have a really great community. Let's hit it out of the park.
And as far as name of the park, name of the stadium, we want who would be the advertiser attached to the name of the park.
Right. It won't be called Rays Field. We know that. Rays Park. It's not going to be. They need the money.
You gotta sell the naming rights. I know the Rays have difficulty with corporate sponsorships and so forth, but
you're an MLB team. You're gonna get it. But yeah. That should be fun, man. Oh, also the Rays are going to be playing a series, Kevin.
Are they? Does it count if it's against the Angels without Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout? If they can't win with those guys, how are they going to win with anybody else? It's a shame.
I mean, yeah, it's again 11 games left for the Rays. They do still have the opportunity to get to 100 wins. This would be a really nice get right here for the Angels, who are 68-82. They are just not a competitive baseball team since the trade deadline, basically. I mean, they just went down the pipe. And we just saw them play the Rays on August 20th.
Yeah, it's really an indictment of the ownership, the front office, all starting at the top and just having losing culture and losing organization for that matter. 68-82 as of right now. And we mentioned no Trout, no Ohtani. They do have Brett Phillips in the fold, so take that for what it's worth. No Anthony Rendon either, which I understand why we don't mention his name anymore, him despite having a 7-year, $245 million contract, because over the last 4 years, he's played in, wait for it, 52, 58, 47, and 43 games, respectively, or not respectively. And he's had no more than 9 home runs in any particular season. Now, I'll also add the year he had, one of those years was the COVID year, so you can only play, as many as 60 games, but everything else.
Worst contract I've ever seen in my lifetime. Worst contract. I mean, hands down. And the guy had a broken tibia for the last few weeks, and they didn't say anything about it. It's just a blank show organization. And then he is just not giving any bleeps whatsoever. Dude, the other day said, no habla inglés today. When reporters Asked him a question about his health. No habla inglés today. Okay, sure,
Yeah.
you're funny.
I think the Angels are also like, they may be the only team or one of a very, very select few that isn't sending their hometown TV and or radio crew on the road to save a buck or two. But they can spend, $250 million on Anthony Rendon, millions and millions of dollars on other guys. I mean, they're kind of an organization known for handing out bad contracts, from Vernon Wells to Albert Pujols, although Pujols is a little bit more understandable. Gary Matthews Jr., Zach Cozart. I mean, they've get a lot of bad contracts out over the years. Josh Hamilton as well. It's like, again, they think they're a basketball team. We can give 1-2 guys a lot of money and we're done. We don't have to do anything else. We can have the third worst farm system in baseball. We'll be okay, guys.
You're wrong. And you know what? Just a little shout out to Mike and John, who do Locked On Angels. It's amazing how great those two guys are, because their team is not doing well whatsoever. But if you want to listen to a really good aspect of what it is to be an Angels fan, make sure to check out Locked On Angels. They do a great, terrific job.
Yes. All right. Stay tuned with us for Wednesday's episode. We'll have a mailbag and some more fun with that. In the meantime, thank you for listening to the Locked On Rays podcast. Stay safe and have a good day.